Hi, folks. I think it's time for us to graduate to the next stage in the text tool, text editor, and so Notepad all this time is what we call as a text editor. It's basically you can run code on it and create basically everything on here with it as well. One of the things I want to point out is some of the industry stuff that we've been using on out in um, industry with it, and it will help you in your coding and your learning curve with it. I think it's been 2 3 weeks, and we need to move to a little bit more industry tool that we've been using with it. So I want to bring and highlight a few things about IDEs, which stands for integrated development environment with it. And these are the tools that we use on industry. A lot of times they'll help you in a lot of things with it. We use what's called the Visual. Some tools you're going to hear is called the Visual Studio. It's mainly for programming in C++ and C Sharp and all this stuff with it. The tool that which is a nice, really slick version with it. The tool that we're going to be using is actually Visual Code, which is a really nice tool to use as well. There is Lime. You hear what's out there with it. So there's also Helix. These are all different type of IDEs out there with it. These last three right here are free. All right, so it doesn't cost anything with it. So I want to ask you to install your IDE, but before we do that, I want to make sure that how an IDE can actually help you in your learning is that it's going to recognize a lot of the reserved words. Like you open up a tag called body, it closes that tag for you. Open up an anchor tag, it closes that anchor tag for you. So it kind of helps you in your coding with it as well, so to avoid syntax errors with it. So it recognizes what's called reserved words with it, avoids a lot of syntax errors that when you run it with it. And bottom line is these tools that you're looking at, they're industry standards. And if you have me for JavaScript, here's the Visual Code plus you have to install the Node.js and a browser. That's all it takes for a JavaScript class with it. What's more important is that it connects to what's called an SVN, a version control. So there are industry stuff out there that we use. I've been using Tortoise as a tool. It's like Tortoise is a turtle, SVN with it. There's TeamView from Microsoft, Visual Studio with it, and everything connects to what's called GitHub with it as well. So these are the type of version control that you can like multiple folks could code on the same page, same file without contradicting with one another, and you all see the same files, what's going on to it as well. It's a workflow tool with it as well. So your project manager will decide I'm going to use this person A's code over this person B code. Again, these are industry stuff that we're using right now. A lot of you are just coding very as a learning curve. You're in a workstation all by yourself with it. But as you progress, you work in teams and big projects with it. You got to have some sort of workflow that to regulate. It's like a stop sign light. You go, we do this, and to regulate the traffic flow of data and how you store all these files with it. So that's why you have these particular IDE. Now, I mentioned to you these are tools because they are tools with it. I mean, these are it's like a carpenter. They have a hammer, chisel. They got their tools with it. Programmers, we got our tools. These are our tools and our toys basically with it as well. All right, enough with what I'm talking to you about. So here's what I would like for you to do. If you could open up a web browser and go to find Google, and if you can go to Google and just type in visual, I want to ask you to install the Visual Code. All right, so just type in Visual Code, and that's this right here. Just click on that, and it should open up this, and this is what the symbol looks like, Visual Studio Code right there. All right, and you click on it. Make sure this works for a Mac. and a PC. It works for a Mac and a PC. So download for Windows and download for Mac. So you pick your poison here. Okay, you want a Windows, you want a Mac. Just I don't know, however. And you download that file and you install it and you agree to it, and it's like watching paint dry, right? So it takes about 5 minutes to 2-3 minutes to install this. Once you install this, why don't I stop the computer and again pick one of these that you have. Hopefully you have a Windows or a Mac. I don't think any of you guys are running a Linux or an Ubuntu box out here at this time with it, but it's also a good operating system to learn for industry as well. So I'm going to stop the computer right now, the recording right now, and if you want to look at it, this is what the actual link looks like right now. I'll copy this, and if you want to type this link directly into it, this is what it looks like. Okay, so if you go here, code.visualstudio.com. All right, cool. Install Visual Studio Code. Make sure you install this Visual Studio Code. I don't want the Visual Studio Professional or anything. This is a free. Look at this ribbon right here. This is what this ribbon looks like. Okay. All right. I'll give you a few minutes to install that.